This is yet another episode where I don't have notes. I don't have a diary in front of me. I haven't done anything actually because I think when you converse with your friends, you don't really need to be prepared what you're going to talk and what you're going to share because this is the conversation where I'm catching up with my guest who's also a friend. So it's just the only new thing here is that this conversation will be recorded. So the conversation is going to be according to as per that, right? Let me welcome Surya Prakash, who's a very dear friend. He's a coach. He's currently with FC Goa. He started off his journey in Mumbai itself, and that's how we met. And we've been in touch for a couple of years now. And whenever he comes, now that he's away from Bombay, and the moment he left the city, whenever he comes down, he makes it a point to message me, and we always catch up. So that's how close we've been. A great supporter of what I do as well. Thank you so much, Surya. And to all the lovely listeners who's tuned in, this is the Total Indian Football Show with me, your host, Siju, in case you're wondering what you've tuned into. But now let me welcome Surya Prakash. Hi, Surya.
Thank you so much, Siju, for the lovely welcome. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and it's a pleasure again.
To the audience who probably would not know you, but I think most of them in Bombay, who especially working with the FC Barca Academy or who's been there in the footballing grassroots space, definitely knows you. But for those who don't know, take us through your journey from Bihar up until now that you're in Goa.
Wonderful. Yeah, it will be great recollecting the journey. Thank you so much, Siju, once again. I grew up in Bihar in a small town called Gaya. Fell in love with the sport back in school when I was maybe 7, 8, watching the school tournament. All the students watching the final. I was one of them, and then got hooked onto the game. My dad also loves the game in his own small capacity, and we would watch certain matches on TV. Post my 10th standard, at the age of 15, left home, moved to Delhi for better educational opportunities. The ground was bigger, better. The school had a football coach, the PE teacher doubling up as a football coach there. So the game became a little more intense in terms of how we play. From there on, I moved to Pune for my college, and I think that was the changing atmosphere for me in terms of the game. My college senior was a certain Eugene Lingdo who went on to represent India. I couldn't even make it to my college team in the first year, to be honest. But I started living with a set of friends, a lovely bunch of boys who were part of the college team, and I would play with them, I would live with them, talk about football, and started practically living football from there on. This was way back in 2009, 10. I was 19, 20-year old. And from there on, it just became an obsession, a part of life that never left, kind of watching every possible match across every possible league across the globe, talking about it, breathing football, living football, playing twice a day sometimes on the lawn tennis court, which we could easily turn into a five-a-side ground. That's where the journey began and went on. But I felt something was amiss if there can be a career made out of football, and that's where Mumbai happened. 2016, Western India Football Association and Skill Nation had just launched this football management course that caught my eye, and I left everything behind and moved to Mumbai to pursue that passion.
Sweet. I think from coming down to Bombay, city like Bombay, and then doing a management course. Where did the love for coaching develop, and how did you kind of get going with that? Because if I remember correctly, we also met at one of your when you were undergoing a license. I think it was a C license that you were doing at Cooperage. I think that's the
Yes.
first time we met and we spoke on the like a side proper sideline kind of a thing, where you were on the other side of the railing and I was on the other side. So how did someone who pursuing a sports management then switch to coaching courses and now as an established coach?
So while pursuing the football management course, I was always very interested to understand how things work from a coaching perspective, although I didn't exactly know the differences in terms of what demands of football coaching are. But I was always hooked. So even in my internship during the management course, I was interning with Mumbai FC. And you were absolutely right. It was 2019 that we met for the first time on the sidelines of a C license course. So I wanted to do my D certificate course way back during my management course, but it couldn't work out because we had practically 5 days a week scheduled for our management course too. But the earliest I got a chance post working, and I think the turning point was the under 17 FIFA World Cup 2017, where I was part of the LOC, a proper hands on management role, making sure the training sites, the training venues, the stadium are all set for the teams traveling. But I would miss the part where I had to not watch the training sessions or the games and work in the back end. I think that was the turning factor. I took a lot of time, way more than expected from other people, to decide the vertical of football I wanted to go into. There were many options, like all of you would know: sales, marketing, sponsorship, legal, operations. I was not very sure, and hence I took a lot more time than my peers, and eventually decided that I want to be one of those guys who are kind of commanding the game from the side. It was just for the pure joy and love of the game that I chose coaching without knowing how technical, tactical, or how difficult grassroots coaching would be. But I'm really glad that I made that choice.
Great, I think, and then only football has only benefited, right, on ground, and many kids have benefited. Now coming to, you've really traveled from, like, if you see geographically, physically moved to different cities, different places, and that's work has really taken you. And I wanted to know, how has it shaped your knowledge of the sport, of the different age group of kids that you've been able to coach, different coaches that you have met, and different people and directors at the management level that you've worked under. Now, starting with in Bombay when you were with FC Barca Academy, right? I think that's where the thorough exposure that you got from a private entity, how a setup that works out, how do they function. Then you moved to Goa. You also had a small stint with futsal in a way, and then you had, you went to Bangalore, and Bengaluru is now, we all speak about how buzzing it is for football, right? As a city that has erupted with a lot of things in the state level, in the city wise, for the sport. And then now you're back to Goa. Again, Goa known for a hub as a footballing thing. So I would like to pick your brain on if you can share the different things that you've learned while you were traveling across these different regions, from the kids, from the people, from all your interactions with people from the sport.
So the sport remains the same. Football is played in the same way across the globe and hence in every part of the country. But it's just fantastic to move to different places and live and work in a diverse country like India. I've been very lucky, to be very honest. And Mumbai, yes, you're very right. Barca Academy was my first organized, proper structured coaching that I was doing, and I learned a great deal from there. We had, I think, 400-500 kids at some point of time with that project, and every day, morning, afternoon, evening coaching, getting to know the players, their parents, talking to them on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, understanding their needs. And we were not very old. I mean, when I joined the Barca project in Mumbai, we were in the third year of our existence in Mumbai. So we had our own share of challenges and to overcome. Very committed parents, very committed, humble, hustling children, like the vibe of the city, Mumbai, Bombay. Uh, we may call it whichever way we want, but that's what defines the city of dreams. With people from different diverse backgrounds, one common aim of becoming better players, better citizens. Goa was the first stint in Goa, like I said, was a couple of months with Youth Futsal Academy, a great setup, and then the Super 30 soccer schools, another great setup. It was different, and I was really looking forward to it. And thankfully for me, a person can only speak two languages. The football language always helped, uh, be it in Goa or Bangalore. Mumbai, thankfully, is more easier on that part. But in Goa, football language helped. Technically, much better kids. I would not compare, but technically great kids here. And then the Bangalore stint was eye opening. It was very defining career, a moment in my career. I've had handled teams before in my previous jobs in corporate career. It's not the same. So it was very defining. Bangalore has exploded Siju, like you mentioned, and we all know it. crazy football following, crazy culture of the city, proper Cosmo city with so many academies, so many clubs functioning. And I would like to say that I was at one of the best setups, to be honest, in terms of the setting of the vibe in the heart of the city. Again, the learnings, and I always believe the same. Football is never a one-way teaching. Football is always so. My learnings are fantastic, uh, and to come back to Goa with all that experience that I have accumulated over the years, and then trying to utilize into a project and making it bigger here at FC Goa football schools. Couldn't be happier. Goa is a crazy football hub, but we do see a not so many organized, structured, curriculum based football coaching academies for the young children of Goa, and hence just trying to play a small part in building that culture here.
Right. And with your current role at FC Goa, do you think, as you mentioned when you were at SUFC in Bangalore, it was a different ball game all to you because you've handled players, but here you were leading a team of coaches. So it's a different administration role and management role, right? So do you think when probably before when you were in Goa, when you moved from Bombay and you were trying, maybe you were trying at different places, back then you never heard back, but somewhere the SUFC job and the role really equipped you for the current role that you're playing at FC Goa? Do you feel that has really helped you better to take up this role?
100%, absolutely spot on. That was the reason I was able to fit in here. Also, that one full year of management experience back in 2016, learning as a football management student, and I always never shied away to take up the small administrative management or sometimes even sales task from the clubs and academies I work with. Before that, a good 5 6 years of experience at different corporate companies. So those skills were always there. And now in my current role and the previous role at CFC Bangalore, I was able to kind of really balance it out. My management skills, my team management, team handling skills, people management skills, and then all the coaching, technical, tactical knowledge I acquired, the licenses that I've gone through, all that has kind of really come together to fit in and help me do my job better. So absolutely, that's true, Siju.
Yeah. Now, as you mentioned, your father, you and your father accompany each other to watch games and talk about sport, and he also enjoyed the sport. If I can ask you to probably elaborate and take us a little bit more about your relationship with your dad, and how does having working all this while you're in the sport now, from the time that you were watching and you liked the sport and you shared that joy of watching it together or talking about it together, now that he sees you working in the system for Indian football, all of that, how has the conversation changed over the years, and what's the rapport now like?
So our rapport has changed like a graph up and down in terms of the sport. He was always, I would say, somebody who loved sports, would watch games in his own young days, in his own youth and early college days. He was an athlete. He would also play football sometimes, not always. So that was always the love of the game was always there. But it was in my age standard at the age of 13. I was playing practically every possible sport in the school and winning quite a bit of it. And then I ended up flunking a couple of subjects. That kind of really broke the relationship with my dad in terms of sports. I was literally banned from playing any sport in the school, especially football. I would hide my jerseys away in my bag, but obviously I still continued, and no choices there. He thought that's the only distraction I have in life, that my grades are failing. That was not the case though, but that's what he thought. In my 11th and 12th, when I was doing little good in football in Delhi, I was in Kendriya Vidyalaya in the JNU campus. We had all the possible sport, you name it, right there in the school campus. And when I got a chance to be part of the school team, he completely said, "There's no way you can go back and play football again. It will hamper your education, your career." So that was not the best time in terms of our relationship with sports. Post a few years, I did tell him that I never stopped playing and I still play. He made peace with the fact, but I think it all came back really nicely in 2016 when I had to ask him and tell him that I want to quit the job and go back and take a course, which is a football course. in a very filmy movie style, he told me, there's only one life. So you either do it now or you never do it. So please go ahead, follow it, follow your passion. If it thinks it will make you happier, and you can make a career out of it. So that gave me a lot of strength. You have the family, your dad behind you, standing like a rock support, gave me a lot of strength to kind of uh, build on that. So yeah, it's been really a bumpy but fairy tale ride with him. I think it came all back to life came back to full circle when I took him to the Kantirava Stadium recently last year. I think for the BFC Kerala Blaster game. That my school friends really commented on the post on Instagram that banning you from playing football to going to a sellout stadium to watch a semi-final. I think has come a full circle for your life. I said absolutely yes.
Great. I think that's the best experience that you can give, right? Getting him on to watch a game and a couple of matches. That's lovely. From talking about games to now coming back and watching it. So now moving on from there, now you can, I think, elaborate for us what is your role at FC Goa, and how does that shape you going further, and what are the challenges and how do you plan to kind of overcome it, and yeah, give us whatever that you can share with us. Take us through all of that, the team that you're working with and everything about it.
Right. So currently, I serve as the technical head of the FC Goa football schools. I handle and work with coaches of the football school. We don't have a big team yet. We have 6, 7 coaches, and we are trying to build on that. And then we have a set of managers, venue managers, grassroots managers, who help us run these centers smoothly. At FC Goa football schools, we have few independent centers, which is open for all. Anybody between the age of 5 to 17 can come to these centers, enroll, pay a registration training fees, and can enroll and be a part of the program. And then we have certain school programs that we run with. Obviously, as the name suggests, those programs are only accessible to the students of those particular schools. It can be before school in the mornings, it can be after school in the evenings, afternoons. And there also we can have some in-school programs where we take up the PE curriculum of the school for the football interested students, and we train them. Now, the most important part of my job is to handle this team of coaches and with the help of the venue managers. I report to the head of commercial at the club, and the next major challenge that we face here is to have a well thought, structured curriculum that these coaches follow when they plan for the sessions. Now, this is something which I've not traveled the country, I would say, but I've traveled to a few places to realize that there are academies in almost every small town, big city, every nook and corner, every small turf, every big ground running. The one thing missing is the quality of coaching, which is happening on the ground. So to improve the quality of grassroots coaching, it has to come through a structured curriculum. It has to come through coach education. Those are the two factors that I've taken very close to my heart in the last 1 year or so, and I've been working very, very closely with those two aspects. We have regular meetings with our coaches here, once in 2 weeks, coach education session in the classroom, on the ground, which empowers them to express themselves more, which gives them the option to work and improve on the session planning, then for them to execute the same feedbacks, learnings on the ground with the children. And I think that's why at the end of every session, we see most of the children go home smiling. This is going well, enjoying it, absolutely, no doubt in it. But the challenge is now to scale it up. We definitely want the FC Goa Football Schools project to be accessible to more and more young children in Goa, up all the way north to all the way south, in different centers, villages, village panchayats, talking to different schools. All this is happening, and then once we realize that we are able to deliver to our say bare satisfaction, then we also want to take this FC Goa Football Schools project outside Goa. We definitely wanted to take it to cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, Pune, Delhi. Why not? I mean, in a big country like India, where I see there is a dearth of quality grassroots football coaching. Why not? And I think the most important element in this would be, because a football academy or football school project like this do not work just with coaches or just with managers or just with the sales team or the operations team. It's how you all combine together for one common objective, is for the young children to just let have fun and develop over the years, not be too harsh on or them, or not have too short term objectives in terms of competition and those things. Parents, they are a very very big stakeholder in this whole scheme of things. Taking them on board, making them understand why we are doing this, what are we doing, where are we heading by doing these things. And thankfully, in my career so far, I've been very lucky that my relationship with the parents have been fantastic. I always have an open ears to them, their feedback, their ideas, and being very open and honest about what we're doing here. I think that has helped me, made me realize that it is very very important to take them on board, because it is them who are sending their children to play the sport. Yes, after the age of 13, 14, 15, 16 is mostly the player who's self motivated, but it's a critical golden years of learning of before the 6 to 12 age group, or even before, just remembering a couple of toddlers program I ran earlier at few of my other projects, been fantastic. We had up to 60 70 kids in a couple of projects earlier. It's not about football there. Definitely, it's about making them comfortable outside their comfort zone, making them make friends and motor skills. So yeah, this is what I currently do. This is we have a team of coaches and managers that I work with. I'm very lucky that I'm able to work and use my knowledge, expert whatever small expertise I have, and share it and work with a big club like FC Goa. Really thankful for the opportunity that they have given me and they have interested. And yeah, I mean, I'm always looking forward to it.
Right. And I think by this conversation, I've definitely gathered, and I'm sure the audience listening to it, our listeners, have also gathered that how closely you speak of grassroots coaching and grassroots football, right? Getting the right, mentoring the coaches and making good coaching available for all kinds of players. Now, if I had to ask you probably to list out the three major aspects that you feel are very crucial and important under grassroots football and grassroots coaching, be it for the kids or be it for the coaches?
First has to be fun element. There is no football session for young children if it's not fun, if it's not happening, and they don't have happy smiling faces at the end of it. Second is engagement. It can be fun, but there can be times, and I've seen, to be very honest, there are certain exercises or drills, as we call it, or sessions where the children is quite literally waiting for their chance to come and play. Young children have a very short attention span. Once we make it fun and we make it engaging, then comes the technical and the tactical part of it. How we impart that knowledge and how they receive it. I've heard a lot of coaches talk about, oh, this is the right age for introducing tactical training. This is the right age for introducing technical training. I believe it's all very, very natural. It's a gradual process. We can include or tactical information, hypothetically, for example, say where to go and receive the ball into empty space to be ready to receive the ball. This can be passed on to as young as a 5 year old. And I've seen results. Obviously, more detailed tactical information can be kept aside for a little later, but a lot of technique, a lot of repetitions is very important, because we have seen in the past really good, smart players at the very top level. Over the years of their learning of the football coaching, they have missed these thousands and lakhs of repetitions of the technique, and that has resulted in them making a certain not so great technical action on the pitch. Whereas if we talk about the difference in football from our country's perspective, and if we compare it to a certain European standard or whatever standard we want to see, we see those actions, those technical actions, be spot on 99.9% of the time. And I think that comes from these repetitions, these technique corrections in the early stages of their career and lives. I think so. Yeah, just to summarize it up, your question, Siju, has to be fun, has to be engaging, a lot of technique and tactical information that you can give it out to them as per the age group.
Now, coming to the final two questions, which is not very technical, which probably would be fun for you to answer, is that now, yes, you worked with some of the big names, I would say, like they're all big brands, whether it's Barca Academy, whether it's even your small stint that you had before earlier in Goa and the SUFC. But I think nothing of that beats FC Goa because it's an ISL team as well. It's a big, huge entity, a huge brand in itself, especially in the Goan circle and across and outside otherwise as well. So, for having worked with now that you're with FC Goa, do you feel there's an added pressure as opposed to your previous roles? Because this has a bigger and a larger brand name attached to it as well.
Well, my manager Arnold doesn't makes me feel that way, at least yet, I would say. But the team doesn't make me feel that way. But personally, I do feel the extra weight of the role that I am in, not on a daily basis, I would say, but yeah, here and there, I feel that okay, I have to deliver more. It is an ISL team at the end of the day. They're a big brand, but I tend to again rethink and work it out in a way that okay, as long as we're doing the right things in the right way and we're on the right track, let's not take the pressure. Let's trust the process, and results will follow. So yeah, it is slightly there, Siju. To be very honest, I feel that working with a big club like FC Goa has made that small change in me to take things a little more seriously and deliver it with that extra surety.
And finally, have you, I mean, bigger brand also comes with big names, right? At the senior team level, have you had any interactions with the coaching staff yet?
Yes, to be honest, I did. I did end up having a game of football with the top coaches of the senior team.
Hmm. If I had to ask you some anecdotes from there or whatever interactions, even if it was a small high, but what was it like to have, probably one of the names I would say is Gaurbangi Singh, having, I'm sure you've seen him play. And now to probably also, if you not on a day, if not on a daily basis, he's accessible to you anytime that you want. So how does that feel? And also with one of the coaches and the best minds in ISL and Indian football as of now with Manolo Marquez, because we've seen him what he's done with Hyderabad and also with the recent stint at the Duran Cup. Everyone is looking forward to the FC Goan team in ISL as well. So let us, since you said yes to it for the interaction, how was that like with both of them especially?
So Gormangi Bhai didn't let me score a goal against him at any cost. It felt like
Of course,
He's gone back 5 years in his playing career.
yeah.
He made a couple of fouls on me also.
That was him. I think he was a beast on the field. So yeah,
He still is. I
yeah,
can vouch for it. But it was really fun playing with them. With the senior team staff, they're talking to Saju. They came in, they were in training, and then they flew for the fantastic Duran Cup
yeah.
outing they had, and they're just back, I think, yesterday.
Hmm.
So didn't get a lot of chance to interact with them yet, but I know that the fact that they are accessible, I can always reach out to them for something if I have to, and that gives me a lot of confidence as well as a lot of satisfaction, a lot of humility comes from there. That okay, then we have our technical director, all
Yeah,
the top
yeah,
coaches. We already
yeah.
had a couple of master classes where academy coaches, Coach Gavin, Coach Shane, they were available to us for school and they were sharing the knowledge with us, with the coaches, and even with the children. So yes, working with a big club like this has its advantages, where we're just not a football school or academy anymore. We have a real pathway for the young children to also go. Talking the same note, it might be slightly waver from the question you have asked, but I would like to mention that we had a first real taste of small success. Personally, I had when a football school player just got promoted into the under 15 academy team.
Hmm.
We scouted them, we referred them. He was on trial with the team. So all this comes with working with a big club. Not
Yeah,
every football academy in this country or football school can promise a player pathway or a coaching pathway also for as a matter of fact, upwards to all the way to the club. So yeah, I mean, not yet. Maybe after this, next time I catch you up, I'll have something to share with you regarding some top coaching brains like Coach Manolo. The other day, I was having a quick chat with Joy, who's our senior manager of
yes.
analysis
I mean,
recruitment.
I think the current FC Goa team is, I mean, they always had some brands, but I think everyone is a brand in themselves and big names, like whether it be in the data section. And I was like, yeah, I mean, from Manolo, Coach Manolo to Gormangi to Joy to Derek Sir, of course. How could I forget him? I mean, Gavin out there. So I think you really have the best of Goan football at FC Goa. So definitely looking forward to your conversations with them.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Surya. When I say this on record, I really, really mean it, and I'm not saying it just for the record. You've been a very close and a dear friend, who I highly regard as a coach, as a human being, and as a good friend. And I know I can count on you anytime. And thank you for all those conversations and always making it a point to meet me when you're in Bombay. So our Goa trip is for sure planned. It's due and it will happen soon, hopefully. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Siju. It's been a pleasure. Absolutely. Talking about football to you offline, online, with the recording on, without the recording is always a joy. And I think I was able to answer some of the part of the question that you asked. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Looking forward to it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I hope you enjoy the whole process. And listeners, to all the lovely listeners, this was Surya Prakash. You can reach out to him, and I'm sure if you're in Goa, I don't think he will shy away from taking you out for a coffee or a drink. So just reach out to him. He's available and active on all the platforms. So that's Surya for all of you guys. In case you didn't know him, do also give him a follow. And probably if you're an upcoming coach, go pick his brain for that as well. So otherwise, all thank you so much for showering your love and liking towards our show and what we do in every episode. We try and bring out different stories from different people from different sectors, not just limiting to Indian football, but also kind of other sports. But there's definitely some takeaway for Indian football audience as well. Now that's me, Siju, signing off. Thank you once again. Do follow and subscribe wherever you hear your podcast, and because we are available on all the leading audio platforms like Spotify, Apple, BingePods, and so on. So thank you once again, guys. This has been a pleasure, and look forward to hearing from you guys as well of what you think of our episodes. And thank you so much. And this is me signing off. Cheers.